Switching merchant services sounds simple until a payment fails, or your POS disconnects, or your subscriptions stop billing. That fear alone keeps a lot of businesses stuck with rising fees, outdated tech, or support that never picks up the phone. But here's the reality. You can switch merchant services without downtime if you approach it like a project, not the flip of a switch. In this video, I'm going to walk you through a 7-step framework that shows you how to change providers safely without breaking payments, losing data, or scrambling mid-transition. Before step 1, here's a reality check. If your original merchant provider shut you down, ask for an extension if they haven't already given you time. That window can be the difference between a clean switch and forced downtime. Once that's handled, here's where the switch actually starts. Step 1, define your requirements. Before you even talk to a new processor, get clear on what you actually need. That includes the payment methods you need to support, where you sell, in person, online, mobile, or recurring, and your current volume, average ticket size, and growth plans. If you sell online, this also means understanding what's behind your payments. Are you running recurring billing? Are your customers tied to a specific gateway? And do you actually own that gateway, or is it locked to your current processor? If payments are tied into subscription systems, CRMs, or industry-specific software, those dependencies need to be identified early because they dictate how complex a switch really is. Skipping this work often leads to businesses switching providers, only to end up with the same limitations just under a different logo. Step 2, choose your provider. A quick warning here. The goal is not to find the best processor on Google. The goal is to find the right fit for your business. Look for experience in your industry, clear answers about how they handle migrations, and if a provider rushes onboarding or glosses over your questions, that's not efficiency, that's risk. If someone promises a same-day switch with no questions asked, that's a red flag. Step 3, prepare underwriting. This is where most unexpected delays come from. Underwriting is unavoidable, and it's not something you want to deal with at the last minute. Every provider will need the following documentation: business and ownership information, bank account details, processing history or recent statements, and a website or checkout flow, if applicable. One rule here: gather everything up front and send it all at once. Underwriting slows down when documents trickle in, or when reviewers can't tell what they're looking at. Even simple things like clearly named files, like December 2026 bank statement instead of scan final V2, help reviews move faster. When this information is prepared, switching stays smooth. When it's rushed, approvals stall, and that's when downtime creeps in. Step 4, connect integrations. This is where complexity hides. Payments don't live in a vacuum. They touch your POS, your website, your accounting tools, and sometimes custom systems built just for your operation. For online payments, this also includes fraud and velocity settings. Those controls need to align with your checkout and integrations, and in most cases, your provider will help set them up correctly from the start. Before you even get a quote, make it clear that the provider is compatible with your systems. Approval doesn't matter if they can't integrate. Missing even one integration can create failed transactions, broken reporting, or reconciliation nightmares. The goal here isn't speed, it's completeness. Step 5, test critical payment flows. This is the step that actually prevents downtime. Not does it work once, but does it work in real life? You want to run real transactions. This is usually done with your provider. A quick test transaction confirms that payments clear correctly and that you know how to process them across your terminal, virtual terminal, or online checkout. Test refunds, test tips, test recurring charges, test edge cases, not just the perfect scenario. If something is going to break, you want it to break before you go live. Step 6, cut over with a rollback plan. This is the pro move most businesses skip. Instead of shutting off the old provider instantly, you keep it live briefly. This is especially important for higher volume businesses, and that briefly really matters. Let me explain why. Gradually ramping down volume gives more time for chargebacks and disputes from past transactions to clear, instead of hitting a closed account. You switch during a low volume window, and you know exactly how to roll back if something goes wrong. That single decision turns a risky switch into a controlled transition. Step 7. Monitor the first 30 days. The switch isn't finished at launch. The first 30 days are about stabilization. Be sure to monitor settlement timing, fee accuracy, disputes, chargebacks, reporting consistency, and whether dispute tools work as expected. A clean first month is a strong indication that the switch was successful. Quick clarity here. If your issue is pricing, support, or transparency, you're likely switching merchant services. If your issue is stability, risk, or scale, you may need a new merchant account structure. Don't overcomplicate it. Get to the real problem. If any of these sound familiar, this video is probably hitting home. Your fees keep rising, but no one can explain why. Pricing feels confusing or opaque. Support is slow or non-existent, and your equipment or integrations feel stuck in the past. Those are the most common reasons businesses decide it's time to move. And let's be real, switching merchant providers isn't risk-free. But here's the key point. The risk isn't switching, it's switching carelessly. Most problems show up in the same places, like contract lock-ins that weren't obvious, equipment leases you didn't realize you couldn't take with you, and on the operational side, rushed migrations and half-tested setups that lead to declined payments, missing data, or settlement issues. None of this happens because switching is a bad idea. It happens because businesses move too fast and skip steps. With planning, these risks shrink fast, and in many cases, disappear entirely. Before you do anything, you need to understand exactly what you're walking away from. A lot of switching mistakes happen not because of the new provider, but because merchants didn't fully review the old terms. Start with the contract itself. Look closely at how long you're locked in, whether it auto-renews, and what it actually costs to leave early. Pay attention to notice periods. Some require written cancellation months in advance. And most importantly, find out who owns your equipment. That single detail can be the difference between a smooth exit and an expensive surprise. Next, zoom out and look at your full payment setup, not just your terminal, everything connected to payments. That includes hardware, integrations, payment methods, reporting tools, and any custom workflows, such as tips, subscriptions, or multi-location reporting. If payments touch it, it matters, because you can't migrate what you don't fully understand, and assumptions are where switches break. Now, let's talk about cost, and not just rates. Yes, pricing matters, but it's only one part of the puzzle. There may be early termination fees. You might need new equipment. Staff may need retraining. There could be engineering or integration work behind the scenes. And if the switch goes poorly, downtime has a real cost too. A smart switch looks at total impact, not just the number in the proposal. This part won't apply to everyone, but if it applies to you, it matters a lot. Businesses with recurring billing face the highest risk during a switch. In many cases, that also means migrating stored cardholder data, which requires careful handling to avoid failed renewals or compliance issues. This is one of the areas where having hands-on support matters. At Kurv, we help manage cardholder data migrations, so subscribers aren't disrupted mid-switch. Tokenization, failed renewals, and customer payment data all need careful handling. Multi-location businesses need tighter controls and parallel reporting to keep operations steady. And data continuity matters more than most merchants expect, especially when it comes to reconciliation and historical reporting. The upside? A switch is also your strongest moment of negotiation leverage, if you know how to use it. If this feels like a lot, it's because switching merchant services is a project that requires planning. At Kurv, we help businesses manage that project end to end. That means giving pricing clarity, hands-on switching support, and reducing risk through proper testing and phased cutovers. No pressure, no hard sell, just guidance when you need it. If this helped, like the video, subscribe for more payment insights, and drop your questions in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.